Hey everyone, it's Mark from Abandoned Scotland here, and today we're going to do something a little bit different to our usual videos, and that is a commentary video. Now, a lot of you have been commenting before, just asking, could you maybe do a commentary video? I'd like to find out a bit more. So we had lots of spare footage from the Merchiston Hospital Explorer, so I thought, well, why not? Let's try it out. If you didn't see our video last week from Merchiston Hospital, you can click on the top right there, on the annotation, or you can click in the description below. Now, I'd seen some pictures of Merchiston Hospital before, of when it was just first closed, and it looked immaculate. There was so much left over. There was old hospital beds, there was the old bits and pieces that you would expect, but unfortunately now it's been completely trashed. I think there's been metal thieves that have went there, and there's even been travellers apparently that set up there about a year ago, and it looks like they've absolutely stripped all of the signage, all of the kind of things that were left there of any sort of value. Obviously, I think the local Neds have been at it as well. If you live in England, that's obviously Chavs. Is there an American equivalent of Neds? Honestly, I have no idea. If there is, let us know. Billy Robertson, one of the Facebook community members, actually posted up some pictures of it when it was first closed. I'll put a link in the description below if you want to have a look at them, but it looks absolutely night and day in comparison to some of our videos, and obviously the pictures that we've posted up ourselves on Facebook. I didn't find much information on the internet about Merchiston Hospital. A lot of it was just the basics, that it was mainly for mental health and for learning disabilities that they catered for. Going by the architecture and previous videos and pictures of the hospital, it looks like it was built around the 1970s. All the buildings had the same type of construction, and it was kind of similar to a bungalow type construction. It looked really strange, but I guess that was quite popular around about the 1970s era. It actually reminded me a wee bit of Polphail. Polphail itself doesn't really look like the type of buildings that would be in this hospital, but I think just with the same kind of architecture, the same kind of builds, you can decide from yourself. I'll put an annotation on the video, and I'll stick the link in the description as well. What you might have noticed from the video footage is that in this video it's all cloudy, whereas in the previous video it was all sunny. And actually what we done was we made 2 visits to Merchiston Hospital. The first time we went round, we actually got a phone call from the BBC to do a radio interview, which some of you might have listened to back at Easter Monday. We actually got the phone call from the BBC in this hall that you can see right now, but unfortunately I think that's been taken down from iPlayer. We had an email before of someone, and hopefully we'll be able to get some footage of that back up soon. When we do get some footage back up though, I'll make sure and link it on Facebook and Twitter, and I'll obviously post it up on YouTube as well. On the first visit there, we actually met security as well, and that's the one thing, I'll go off on a tangent here. If you meet security, or if you're seen by security, the worst thing you can do is run away, because immediately you look suspicious. What I would say is, if you do see security and they spot you, then go up, have a chat with them, talk to them, because more often than not, as soon as you explain what you're doing, you're photographing the place, you're documenting history, they're quite open, and they'll obviously talk to you and explain a wee bit about the history as well, which is always nice, always good to hear. What the security did say when we met them was that the travellers that set up about a year ago started cutting the cables to the cameras, which meant that they weren't able to protect the hospital as much as they could. This meant that they could go in and steal a lot of the metal, a lot of the signage, as we mentioned before, and that's why it's completely trashed, I believe. One of the documents I did find on Merchiston Hospital was from the Scottish Health Council, which explained why they wanted to close the hospital. There was a £30 million deficit that the NHS had to fill, so they had to look at what services weren't needed and what could be closed. What the document basically says is that Merchiston Hospital had to close, and that they wanted to transfer services away from there to Southern General in Glasgow. One of the concerns that they had was that it was such a well-run hospital, and it was a valuable hospital and had a high reputation in the area. One of the things the NHS have been promoting is a care in the community programme, where people with some mental health conditions were being helped in the community, rather than being put into hospitals. So what this meant was that critical functions could be moved over to Southern General, whereas some patients could be moved back home. As for the hospital building itself, well, it's been 4 years since it's closed, and you can see obviously it's been trashed over those years, so whether it's going to last that long, I'm not entirely sure. What I would say is the buildings could easily be converted into flats or reused in some other kind of way, which I would always love to see, something getting reused rather than being demolished. Anyway guys, that's it for this commentary video. If you'd like to see a bit more commentary videos, then comment below, let us know what you think. Would you like to see a bit more about the history? Would you like to hear a bit more about the Explorer, what we discovered? just comment below and let us know what you think. I'd just like to say a special thanks to the Sound of Rescue who let us use their music in the last 2 videos. If you'd like to hear some more, you can check them out in the description below as well. If you do leave a comment below, I'll make sure and try and reply to you as soon as possible. In the meantime, keep watching and we'll have some more videos for you soon.